Greetings and welcome to Dragon Bricks. My name is Nathan, and in this video I will be showing you 6 tips that you can use to instantly and easily level up any of your own creations. This video will mainly be general principles that you can apply to basically any MOC you're building. It's not going to be specific techniques. I will of course show many examples of everything I am talking about, but in the future, I do plan on showing specific techniques for rock walls, trees, etc, etc, etc. This video is going to be more general, so you can apply it to anything you are building. On screen now, you can see a few of the builds I have made over the years where I have applied many of the principles that I plan to be talking about in the following video. You can see I've made many things from giant castles, giant trees, and even wizard koalas. So with that said, let's move on to my first tip, add depth. Now, when I say depth, I mean add layers to your build. It's the Z-axis if you want to be mathematical about it. So right here, you can see a flat wall with absolutely no depth. And you can see there's nothing special about it. It looks pretty dull, pretty boring. If you build all your buildings out of this, it's not going to look very good. So adding depth can be one of the most important and easiest ways, in my opinion, to make your builds stand out and look better. So right here, you can see another wall, exact same size, where I added some depth to it. You can see there's multiple layers. One here for these little side pillars. The window is cut back a little bit. I got some extra designs up here. I was just messing around and building this, but it gets the point across. All you have to do is add a little bit of depth, and these other special bricks I'll talk about in the next tip, and it looks a lot better. And it's pretty simple. Just put things back of one stud or forward of a stud, and you get so much room for adding details as well. Now, there are many builds and sets that I could use as examples of adding depth, but I will start with one of my recent MOCs, the medieval tavern here, and you can see where I've added the depth to make it look better. Obviously, a simple one. You can see the second floor is one stud out farther than the bottom floor. That's a medieval style thing, but it's great trick with adding depth to your builds. I can have this little dormer thing right here in front. Chimneys are butting out with all these different shapes. If I spin it around, you can see I have another little dormer thing on the side, jutting out, and that looks a lot better in my opinion than just a boring old flat wall. And obviously I have all the wooden parts that are showing as well, like I forget what it's called, and those add a little bit of depth in and of themselves. And you can see back here I have this big angled building, so it's not just another giant box, and that has all these other little things sticking out and little details that stick out and add layers, and that depth can really help you add those details and make your build really shine. So, and you can see all throughout the tavern I have made great use of that. Now, another great example where depth really shines is with the LEGO modular buildings. Now obviously they're city buildings, so they're rectangles, they're complete rectangles, and you're not going to be getting a bunch of fancy shapes like you could with the tavern. So to make up for it, you can see LEGO, they obviously know this, they added depth. Windows are inset, they have structural support arches. You can see all the various things they're using to add depth and interest to the build. Now don't mind this, just a light kit. As a side note, light kits are really cool. I got them for these modular buildings. Anyway, I digress. All of the modular buildings are great examples of adding how depth can really impact your build and make it look that much better. Here you can see what I would call a poor use of depth. Now I'm going to pick on one of my earlier builds that I've made. It's just a random townhouse. You can see the build is pretty flat. I tried to do a little bit of texturing down here on the bottom. Other than that, you just have the windowsills and completely flat walls. The roof is overhanging, which is nice. Just flat over here. So it would have been nice, for example, if I added some windowsills with like flower boxes, or I could have made another jut out over here with another roof segment. put a lawn shed on the side of the building. All these things add layers of depth and are really great to upgrade your build. And you can see, I mean, I have a little bit, I tried with this vine in the back here. There's a little bit going on, but there's a lot of ways I could have improved upon it. And that's my point in showing this. And you can kind of get away with not having as much depth in modern builds because things are, you know, just more flat and boxy. And personally, I don't like modern architecture, but that's the way it is. Heck, I'm gonna steal this, but you could have even used for siding, make siding with these going up the whole thing. So like, there's still ways you can do it, and if you do those little things, it really will, I think, adds up and makes things look better. And for tip 2, we have add texture. So I will bring back the lovely boring flat wall here and I'll explain what I mean. Basically, you want to add accent colors or little things jutting out from the wall, or slight mold bricks with slight mold variations like masonry bricks or log profile bricks, and this can add a lot of texture to your walls and make them look nicer. So for example, I built the exact same wall here, but with texture. It has all those things I was just talking about. There's quite a bit of it here. You could go less on it, but for this example, I think it makes the wall look a lot more natural and a lot better. Which wall would you rather have? I would choose this one. Now, obviously, there are some improvements that could be made to this wall. Texturing works in tandem with depth to really make your builds shine. So you can see in the other example here, I've done some slight texturing with just masonry bricks, really simple, but with the depth, and you can see it makes a pretty nice wall. So combining those two can really improve your builds. So now let's move on to some examples. All right, and for my first example, I'm bringing back my tavern because I think it shines even better in the texturing regard than it does depth. I'm sorry if you're sick of seeing it right now, but let's just move on. So first things first, if I zoom in on the bottom here with the cobblestone, you can see in the walls, I've really gone to town with the texturing. This is probably an extreme example, and I wanted to get a very cobblestone-y look. So you can see that with the protruding different bricks, and you have the different masonry profile bricks combined with all the different colored plates in the dark gray alternating colors. And it comes together to add a really nice looking cobblestone, in my opinion. Same thing kind of goes for the top layer. You can see I have tan to accent the white, and obviously the brown wooden framing as well. And it's all very textured, as I would say, into making it look really good. Makes the walls way less boring. All right, now enough of the tavern. I'll move on to something else now. Now, for another less extreme example of texturing, I want to show the Lego set here, the medieval town square, I think it's called. You can see it has just some basic texturing with the same masonry bricks. And then on the side here, there's some on the roofs. And then over here, there's very little depth, but they use those brown bricks as an accent color, and it works. It makes the build look good. So that's kind of an example of how texturing can work if you don't want to go as crazy as what I did with the tavern, which is a bit extreme. Oh, there goes the wheel. And you can see they did a very similar thing on the other side here as well. And tip number 3 is add shapes and angles. Use more than just a couple rectangles in your builds. You can see earlier my house kind of fell prey to that. It was literally just, a couple rectangles put together. There is so much more potential. Add circles, angles, all these other things, and it can really make your build more interesting. It kind of goes in with the whole depth thing. Now, the best way that I can show you how important this is by using some examples. So here, I will start with Rivendell, the Lego set, which has tons of different shapes. I mean, almost everything's circle. This entire section right here is at an angle. You have towers, you have roof, there's a semicircle cut out of that. It just amazes me all the different shapes they put into this. Obviously, you have your standard rectangles, but it's just a really good example of how using the different shapes, triangles, everything. Right here, you can see my Orc Camp MOC, and again, it makes great use of shapes to make it look good. So you can see, obviously, all the walls are curved to make a big, circle-like motion, breaking it. The huts are also octagon, but you can see they're all different shapes. It's not just rectangle walls and rectangle huts. With the circles and the curves, it really makes it look a lot better and can fit more organic shapes. And here, for our last example, you can say I have the Bricklink Designer Program Mountain Fortress. And this one is a great example of how you can use just rectangles and make the build work with interesting shapes. So there is no circles, circular towers, nothing of the sort. It's just a bunch of different rectangles angled and stacked in a certain way so that it still is really visually interesting. I think this is one of the best sets out there that has done that, and I needed to show it here because it's a great way that you can see rectangles aren't bad, it's just you gotta use them smartly, obviously. And the other shapes can obviously help break up that, but if not, you can just use rectangles like this and it works really good. And tip number 4, which is probably the most important, is just experiment. I mean, I said depth might be the most important, but I think this one beats it. You aren't gonna build things perfectly on the first try. I mean, anytime I've built anything, I'll probably build all the sections like 5 different times before I'm finally like, okay, I'm happy with it, so I'll move forward. It takes a lot of experimenting, building, rebuilding, and rebuilding again until you get it right. It is very similar to writing. Your rough draft is not gonna be perfect. You need to rewrite things before it's gonna be great. A lot of times, like, to play around, I'll build a small section of build, kind of like the little walls I made here as part of this demonstration. Like with my tavern, I just built a little slice, and then I continued building the rest of the tavern. And that can be really nice to get a look down before you order pieces and get all the stuff you have around and be like, oh shoot, I wanna change something. Similarly, you can do the same thing. I love building with rainbow bricks to get the shape right. So you can see here a kind of a project I've scrapped. It's a little hard to tell because it's rainbow, but if you look past that, you can see it's a giant dragon head. Anyway, so I was trying to get the shape right. So I built it rainbow so that I didn't have to order a bunch of pieces and not need them in the end. And building it this way can really help you get the design right. Because I mean, I probably built this head like 5 times. If not more, probably more. So it may sound kind of cliche, but honestly, the best way to get better at building MOCs is to just build, experiment, play around, and you will figure things out. You will make things look good. I think that's really the most important part. And tip number 5 is be realistic. Now, in most cases, things that look real, things that look believable will look better. Now, that's not always true. I'm not saying don't be creative. There are times when you should break the rules, but this is like a general kind of thing. If you're building a fantasy world, you want to stay realistic, stay true to that fantasy world. So if you're building Star Wars MOCs, don't create a pink TIE fighter with butterfly wings. Don't have AT-ATs assaulting castles where the only defense is knights and some archers. It just doesn't make sense. Unless you're doing some kind of wacky crossover thing, then more power to you, but most people aren't building that, they're just building normal Star Wars MOCs. Anyway, the same thing goes for medieval builds. Don't have a medieval world where some dude comes running up with a gun in his pickup truck. It doesn't make sense, and it'll throw people out of the world you're creating. Now, and this doesn't only apply to just themes, but whenever you're building something, you want to be realistic with kind of like the structure of it. So put supports where supports are meant to go, where it would be logically be. Add chimneys where you have fireplaces. Use logical colors. Have wood in most cases be a brown color or stone be gray. Obviously there's exceptions, but as a general rule. Same thing like on the inside for your interiors of your builds. Include lights for minifigures. Put yourself in your minifigure's shoes. What would they need on the inside of the build? What would they want? You can kind of come up with a lot more ideas for what would be in there. And obviously most LEGO sets think of these kinds of things. I'm using the medieval blacksmiths for an example. If you make things believable, it looks better. You don't want to have this giant roof overhanging out to like over here with nothing supporting it. And people look at it like, well, that doesn't make sense. So just kind of stick to that idea when you're building. Unless, of course, you have a space theme and you have a repulsor. Like, obviously there's exceptions, I get it. Stay realistic to the world you're in. That wouldn't happen in a medieval world. And now I kind of have a bonus tip for you. Tip 5.5 is use pictures when it is applicable. So for example, if you're building an animal like my koala here, I looked at a lot of pictures to get the look right. I'm not encouraging plagiarism, don't just go out and copy everyone on the internet, but it can be a great way to get inspiration. So especially for building animals, look at a picture of an animal. If you're building a house, if you're building a castle, look at a picture of a real life castle. Same thing goes for trees. Look at pictures of trees. Go outside and look at some trees. You get the idea. Looking at pictures or the real thing can really help you build things that look good. Now for my sixth and final tip, I'd recommend adding minifigures and stories to your builds. This is probably the least important one. Even if you don't do this, I think you'll still be able to create amazing creations. Anyways, adding minifigures and stories to your builds can really help you come up with ideas for how the build should look. It's the same kind of thing with being realistic. Put yourself into the mind of the minifigure and you can get a lot of ideas. And not only that, it of course brings your builds to life. I mean, what good is a giant castle with no inhabitants or a tavern with no people in it? Sometimes you need the people. Now, for an example of how I've applied this in the past, right here you can see my medieval lighthouse MOC. And a lot of the interesting things about this are centered around this guy right here and his story. So basically, he's hiding out on this island, living here because he has a dragon, or he's growing a dragon, and he wants to keep it secret. So if I spin it around here and zoom in, on the inside the house, obviously, it opens up and it's a standard living quarters. This isn't a tour, so I'll save that. But on here, I added a secret that is entirely, I would never have thought of this if I didn't have the story regarding this guy. Now that I've opened up the cave here, on the inside, you can see he's secretly raising a baby dragon. And this little secret that I've added adds a lot of interesting story to the build, and I probably never would have thought of it without that story. Similarly, another cool feature, you can see because it's a dangerous thing he's doing, if he ever needs to escape, detonator box, and it actually blows open the wall. So like, you know, just fun little features I never would have thought of without that kind of story. All right, and I'm bringing back the tavern one more time. If you weren't already sick of it, I'm sorry, but this time at least we are on the inside. So you can see, to illustrate my point, I've added a ton of minifigures on the inside of the tavern here, and without them, it would have been, well, boring. I mean, they're a huge part of this build, all the little stories going on at the different tables while things go on in the tavern with, you know, our famous elf bard over there. And the same thing goes for the kitchen. I mean, it just looked dull without people cooking or empty. I mean, come on. You can't have a tavern that is completely dead and empty. So it doesn't go for all builds. Like, it would still be cool without them, but it makes it a lot better. All right, so that's it for this video. If you want to see more of any of the builds that I showed in the video today, you can see almost all of them posted on my channel, so feel free to head over there and check that out. That'll be linked in the description. And that's it, so thank you so much for watching. But wait, before you go, I have posted this wizard koala, who also has 2 other outfits, to LEGO Ideas. And if you like my medieval fantasy builds, please go over there and help support to make this guy into a real LEGO set. I'll have a link in the description below that takes you right to it. And with that said, I will see you in the next video.